Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you are very well. I am also very well. This is our English language class, and I feel very happy when I see that you have solved the worksheet and there is competition. Who is sending it to me first? And I'm feeling very happy to do the correction, and some of you are doing it very well. Very little bit mistakes are there, so it's a very good sign. So in the last class I discussed rule number 1 and 2, and we were doing the changing of sentences from simple to complex, complex to compound, and vice versa. Today we are going to start with rule number 3. Here you see in simple sentences the clue will be because of. Then the complex will be with since, as, because it means the reason. And the compound will be with and. Let's see the structure of simple sentence. In this case, because of plus positive form of verb plus noun. You see the example, because of his illness, because of his illness, or positive form of the subject plus being or having plus adjective, that is because of his being ill. Because of his being ill, then subject plus verb plus other words. He could not, I missed here not, attend the class. This is simple sentence. Why? Because you see there is only one subject and one finite verb. Okay, and here you see another verb, but this is non-finite. Okay, how to make it simple? As this means reason of his inability to attend the class, we have to use since or as or because plus subject plus verb plus adjective, then plus subject plus verb plus other words. You see here we have to use since or as or because. As or since he was ill, then you have to put a comma, he could not attend the class. Why it is was here, why not is? Because in the other clause you see clearly that here it is past tense. That's why we have to use was, past tense of the be verb. Now how to make it compound? Then the structure will be subject plus verb plus adjective plus and. Then or as it is reason, we can also use and so plus subject plus verb plus other words. So the example will be he was ill. You see he was ill, as will be omitted, and you have to use and here or and so, then he could not attend the class. This will remain the same. So here we can see the same sentence with three different structure. One is simple, how to make it complex, and how to make it compound. Next comes rule number 4. Here in the simple sentence, the clue may be in spite of or despite. And be careful, after despite never use of. So it will be in spite of or despite. Then the complex sentence will, in the complex sentence, we have to use the subordinate conjunction though, and in the compound sentence we have to use but. Okay, let's see the structure of the simple sentence. In spite of plus subject plus verb plus subject plus verb plus ing plus it won't be subject. In spite of doing well, that means verb plus ing, then adjective well. In the exam, he could not stand first. So you see here, which is the main clause here, he could not stand first. Okay, and this is the other words. There is no subject and no finite verb here. So this is simple sentence. How to make it complex? We have to use do. So do plus subject plus verb. You see, do he did well in the exam plus subject plus verb plus other words. He could not stand first. Here you see, in the complex sentence there will be two clauses. One is in the dependent clause and the other one is independent clause. Here, though he did well in the exam, this is dependent. This clause depends on the other to give a complete meaning. And here we have one subject, one finite verb, and again here one subject, one finite verb. That means these two are two clauses, but one is dependent and the other is independent clause. Next comes compound sentence. In the compound sentence, the structure will be subject plus verb plus other words plus verb plus subject plus verb plus other words. Now let's see the example. Subject, he did well in the exam, but we have to use the coordinating conjunction but here. But he could not stand first. Here again you see there are two clauses and they are two independent clauses. He did well, so it's one subject, one finite verb. Again in here, one subject and one finite verb. So now it has become a compound sentence. Okay, let's start with rule number 5. In this case, in this rule, in the simple sentence, the clues will be maybe, to, or in order to. The structure will be the same. To or in order to. The complex will be with so that, and the compound will be formed with and. Now let's see the example of simple sentence. The structure will be subject plus verb plus other words plus to or in order to plus V1 plus other words. Now let's see the example. He went to market. He went to market to, or we can also say in order to or in order to buy a book. You see why this is a simple sentence. This is a simple sentence because there is only one clause, one subject and one finite verb. That's why this sentence is a simple one. Next, how to make it complex. In this case, the structure will be subject plus verb plus other words plus so that. You see, this is the subordinating conjunction plus subject plus verb plus other words. And the example will be, that means the complex of this sentence, simple sentence will be, he went to market. This part will remain the same. Then from here you have to use so that. So he went to market so that, then comes he could buy a book. Now because of this subordinating conjunction, we became able to make another clause. That means there will be one subject, one finite verb. Here also one subject, one finite verb. But the thing is that this clause is dependent or independent clause, because this is dependent clause, so that he could buy a book. Next comes compound sentence. In the compound sentence we have to use and. So the structure will be subject plus verb plus other words plus and coordinating conjunction plus subject plus verb plus object. And the compound sentence of this sentence will be, the structure of the compound sentence will be, example will be, he went to market and bought. We can use here he bought, and when these two subjects are the same, it's not mandatory to mention the subject again. So we can omit the subject here, and bought some books. Here you see both these clauses are what? Independent clauses. Although the subject is not seen here, there is a subject. I didn't mention it here, but there is one subject, one finite verb. Again, another subject, another finite verb. So by adding and, the coordinating conjunction, we have made it a compound sentence. Okay. Next comes rule number 6. In this case, in the simple sentence, the clues are by plus gerund. Okay, gerund means verb plus ing form, and this type of verb then then works like a noun. Okay, so by plus gerund, then the complex will be with if plus subject plus do, and the compound will be formed with and. Now let's see the structure. In the simple sentence, the structure will be by plus gerund. That means verb plus ing. By plus verb plus ing plus other words plus subject plus verb plus other words. You see the example, by working hard. By working hard, comma, you can prosper. You see, here there is only one clause. What is the subject? You. This is the subject. And the final verb is can here. We can again change the sentence. Even after that, it will remain simple sentence and one clause will be there. We can also write, you can prosper by working hard. Even if we take this part at the end of the sentence, the structure remains the same. There is one single clause, one subject and one finite verb. That's why it is a simple sentence. Let's see how to make it complex. The structure will be if plus subject plus verb plus other words plus subject plus verb plus other words. So we have to add if first, then the subject will be you. If you work hard, you can prosper. If you work hard, you can prosper. You see, now we have got two clauses. One is dependent and the other one is independent. You can prosper. This is independent clause. And if you work hard, we intend to learn more, to know more, then it is not complete in its sense. This is dependent clause, and we can see this is the subordinating clause. Again, we can also write you can prosper if you work hard. If and after that, it remains the complex sentence because there are two clauses now. One subject, one finite verb, another subject, another finite verb, two clauses. One is independent and the other one is independent. Now our duty is to make two independent clauses to make a compound sentence, and those two independent clauses will be added with and here. What will be the structure then? Subject plus verb plus other words plus and plus subject plus verb plus other words, and then the sentence will be you work hard, one complete sentence, another one, and you can prosper. You see, you work hard, subject, one finite verb, another subject, you can, another finite verb. Okay, so now there are two independent clauses added by the coordinating conjunction and in most of the cases these sentences used as imperative ones. That means you don't need to mention the subject here. Just write work hard. When the sentence starts with the verb, it becomes an imperative sentence. Okay, so work hard and you can prosper. So it's also completely two independent clauses, and then it becomes a compound sentence. Next comes rule number 7. Here the simple sentence, the clue will be without plus gerund. The previous one was in the positive sense and this is in the negative sense. Without plus gerund, then the clue will be in the complex sentence if plus subject plus auxiliary verb plus not, and in the compound sentence we have to use and. Now let's see the structure of the simple sentence with this clue. The structure will be without plus verb plus ing, that means gerund, plus other words plus subject plus verb plus other words. Now let's see the example. Without working hard, without working hard, you cannot, it should be negative, you cannot prosper. Okay, so in the complex sentence the structure will be if plus subject plus auxiliary verb plus not. Here you have to use the auxiliary verb plus not plus verb plus other words plus subject plus verb plus other words. Okay, let's see the example. If plus subject, here of course it will be you. If you, the auxiliary verb here, it will be do not. If you do not work hard, you cannot prosper. If you do not work hard, you cannot prosper. That here there was only one clause, one subject you and one finite verb cannot. Which are the finite verbs? The verbs which change according to person, number and tense. Okay, so here as it is in the present tense, cannot has been used. So it is only one single clause, that means it is simple sentence. And then in the complex sentence, you see we have made two clauses. One is dependent, this is the dependent clause, and the other one is independent. And these two clauses are added by the subordinating conjunction if. So if you do not work hard, we want to know more, we want to learn more. That's why it is dependent clause. And you cannot prosper, this is independent clause. And lastly, how to make it compound? The structure will be subject plus verb plus other words plus or otherwise. As it is negative, we have to use or otherwise plus subject plus verb plus object. And the example will be work hard, or you can also use otherwise, you cannot prosper. So there is again two independent clauses. That means the subject is there, although we are not mentioning it. You work hard or work hard. So this is one subject, one finite verb, another subject, another finite verb. So two independent clauses are there and they are connected or added with the coordinating conjunction or otherwise. Now it has transformed into a compound sentence. So we have seen how to make this simple sentence complex or compound. I think today we can end up our class here, and in the next class we will learn more rules from simple, complex and compound. Thank you very much. See you next time.